He's looking. He is firing. Touchdown, Spoles.
The town's gone gaga through a perfect preseason.
Bradford again. Fires. Complete. Touchdown. And he has Brent Selleck.
Now it's time for the backups to shine.
There goes Tebow.
Plus,
today I have with me the starting D-line, a.k.a. the nobodies.
our man Malcolm shines a light on the Birds' front line. And
I'm going to make sure I complete the job.
He's worked hard to have a breakout season. Keith Jones profiles Jordan Matthews. Plus,
staying active in the community helps me mentally, helps me physically.
Connor Barwin goes to any lengths to give back to his adopted city.
2nd and 10. Where are you going?
Our question exactly. Don't go anywhere. Eagles preseason kickoff takes flight
1, 2, 3.
right now. NBC 10 presents Eagles preseason kickoff, presented by Sports Authority.
Hey, look who's going to make his Eagles debut tonight, Kiko Alonso. Yes, he will start. He'll play about 8 to 10 plays. It's going to be exciting to see the inside linebacker out there for the first time. Hasn't played in 14 months. So Kiko Alonso and Josh Huff, really the only starters who will play tonight at MetLife Stadium. I am John Clark, live at MetLife Stadium. Eagles, Jets tonight, and this is really for the backups, the depth, the guys who want to make an NFL roster. The Birds are going to have to get from 75 players to 53 after this game, so 22 players will be cut after tonight. The main battle is at the third quarterback job. Matt Barkley's going to start the game, should play the first half, then it is Tebow time in the second half. Let's take a look at Matt Barkley in action. Him and Tim Tebow walked out here together and warmed up together. Barkley has completed 53% of his passes this preseason, and he's heading into his third year in this offense, so he knows the offense more than Tim Tebow does. There will be a lot of eyes on this battle tonight, but Matt Barkley understands what the situation is. He's not feeling any extra pressure.
I don't feel any pressure at all. No, I don't think it's anything but just an exciting opportunity, and been in this place before to impress and to move the ball down the field, and I'm excited, like I said, from the get-go, from the opening snap, to get my feet on the ground, to get completions to start off, and then just get the ball rolling from there.
How about Tim Tebow? This really, tonight, could be his chance to stay in the NFL. That's how big it is for Tim Tebow. He's done most of his damage this preseason with his legs. He's rushed for his touchdown, and he has thrown for less than 100 yards in his 3 combined games. He's only 10 for 19, so right around his career average of 50% passing, and he got shut down on 2 two-point conversions last week in Green Bay. Here's Tim Tebow on his emotions, trying to make this team and beat out Matt Barkley for the job.
I wouldn't say more nervous. I always get excited, nervous for every time I step foot on this field in a practice or a game. You approach it the exact same. You just try to focus, understand what they're doing. We won't game plan too much, but get in studying, get recovered, get ready to go, and just go out there and compete.
We will see how this offense goes tonight. Of course, in this preseason, the Eagles have the most points, the most rushing yards, the most total yards. They have been humming along, averaging 38 points a game. We'll see how Matt Barkley and Tim Tebow do tonight. Let's go outside MetLife Stadium right now. It is a hot night out here tonight. Randy Gyllenhaal is out there, hopefully finding some Eagle fans.
A few Eagle fans in the crowd, of mostly Jets fans here at the tailgate. And as you've been mentioning, tonight is all about filling out that depth chart on Chip Kelly's roster, especially at quarterback. These fans we've been talking to excited to see this matchup between the third string. But this preseason has also shown us quite a glimpse of what could be coming down the pipeline, specifically at wide receiver. And as Keith Jones explains, Jordan Matthews, in his second year with the Bird, is set to have a breakout season.
Sanchez fakes, fires out in the flat. He gets it over to Matthews, and Matthews breaks a tackle and crashes in for the touchdown.
My biggest thing is whatever I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure I complete the job.
Completing the job is putting it mildly for Jordan Matthews in his rookie year.
Sanchez fires, complete, touchdown, Jordan Matthews.
His 67 catches, 8 touchdowns, and 872 receiving yards ranked him second all-time in Eagles history in each category. His formula is simple. Practice makes perfect.
You can't just love stats on. You got to be able to love this game. You got to be able to go out and practice and say, I'm going to embrace this. What Coach Kelly has us doing, this works. It's a proven product.
Ready, go.
Basically, the whole formula is if you go out there and put out your best product day in and day out in practice, in the weight room, film room, you know, all the other little things that we do here, then the rest is going to take care of itself.
Matthews' work ethic is born through hard times. As a high schooler, he wasn't recruited by the big schools. But Vanderbilt's James Franklin, yes, the same James Franklin now leading Penn State, took a chance on the unheralded receiver from Alabama. The decision forged an unbreakable bond between the two men.
He's a guy that I truly believe could be successful in a number of fields, comes from a great family, is highly intelligent, is charismatic, he's got a presence to him. And he's obviously a talented football player.
Being able to play for Coach Franklin was a huge blessing for me. You know, honestly, when he came in to Vanderbilt, I mean, we were in shambles. We were in the mud. We were like 2-10. Nobody was coming to the games. I think I could literally see my mom in the stands the game before Coach Franklin got there, so it was bad.
Franklin helped Matthews become the SEC's all-time leading receiver in both catches and yards. Here with the Eagles, it's Matthews taking a leadership role in the role of mentor to the Birds' first-round draft pick, Nelson Aguilar.
He goes out to practice and he's loose like a vet. I mean, the guy has confidence. He'll jump in front of the line and lead the receiver group in drills, and I love that.
We're developing a great relationship. I know, rarely do you come to a situation where the guy in front of you who's proven himself opens his arms to you the way Jordan has done for me.
Now, it's incumbent upon both Matthews and Aguilar to replace the loss of Jeremy Maclin. Maclin led the team in every major statistical receiving category a year ago, but Matthews says team talent will carry the Birds' offense.
I'm no fool to say that, okay, we're not going to miss Jeremy Maclin. I miss Jeremy. But, you lose a guy like that, and what do? You add more assets. You add guys like Miles Austin in the room. You add a guy like DeMarco Murray, too. You bring him in. That's another guy who's producing this league, who's going to have production.
For Eagles Game Day Kickoff, Keith Jones, NBC 10 News.
And this preseason, he's got 7 catches for 115 yards. He hasn't even played that many minutes. Birds hoping he keeps it up for the rest of the season. Still to come.
We hope at all of our positions that we have a chance to develop depth.
The race for the final roster spots is on. We'll get our experts' opinion on who's in and who's out. Plus,
get in here, act like we like each other.
Connor Barwin likes his adopted city a lot. You won't believe the multitude of ways Barwin spent his summer giving back to Philadelphia. You're watching Eagles Preseason Kickoff, presented by Sports Authority, the official sporting goods retailer of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Welcome back, everybody, to MetLife Stadium. It is Eagles preseason kickoff, the last preseason game, and there's a lot of jobs on the lines for guys trying to make this team. Let's hear it from our announcers of tonight's game, Scott Graham and Mike Mayock, breaking down the position battles.
All right, thanks. I'm Scott. This is Mike, and it's preseason game number 4 for the Eagles. We're going to get an opportunity for the first time tonight, it appears on the field, to see Kiko Alonso. What are the coaches expecting out of him? What's he expecting to do tonight?
I think more than anything, they just wanted him to get out there. He hasn't played one snap in preseason, hasn't played at all in a regular season game since 2013. Coming off an injury, they just want him to get out, react to getting hit, have an ability to make a tackle or two, and then get him off the field quickly after a couple of series.
Between now and Saturday, there's still roster decisions that have to be made. Not as many, perhaps, as some of the starting positions as years past, but one of the areas to focus on tonight, the defensive backfield, the safeties.
Yeah, I think they'll keep 4. Now, 3 of them are safe at this point, the 2 starters and Chris Maragos, who's one of the best special teams players on the team. That leaves Copeland as one of the safeties on the bubble. That leaves Ed Reynolds, and that leaves Chris Brzezinski, 3 guys fighting for 1 slot.
Go to the outside, and cornerback pretty well set, but still decisions that have to be made.
Yeah, we know who the starting 5 are, the guys that will play in the nickel. I think the 6th defensive back is probably going to be Watkins. Jalen Watkins can play inside. He can play outside. On the bubble, Denzel Rice, the undrafted rookie from Coastal Carolina. Now, he has played well enough that he could force them to keep an extra corner.
So a lot still to be decided over the course of 60 minutes of football. And, oh, by the way, I don't know if you noticed, there also is a 3rd quarterback slot that has to be decided as well. We'll get to it all tonight, but right now let's take you back down to the field.
All right, thanks, guys. And, of course, one guy you can count on in this Eagles defense is Connor Barwin. He is coming off a career year. He loves playing in this D, but also off the field. We really haven't seen a Philly athlete immerse himself in the community like Connor has in a long time. Vi Sikahema has that story.
Here comes the rush.
This is the Connor Barwin you see on the field.
He's hit. There he goes. He's being sacked. For Connor Barwin, his 8th of the year.
But if Barwin were an author, he could write a book titled How I Spent My Summer Vacation.
1, 2, 3, Eagles! Keep going, keep going, keep going! Ow!
This is a huge volunteer day for us.
Get in here, get in here. Act like we like each other.
Chapter 1 of Barwin's book, Connor the Artist. Upon arriving in Philadelphia 2 years ago, Barwin began working with the Mural Arts program. His efforts earned special recognition this summer.
He's someone who uses his power for good, his stature for good. I mean, he's clearly someone who cares deeply about cities.
So when a guy like Connor says to a young guy or girl, you know, you need to stay in school, you need to do your work. You see what I'm doing, you can do the same thing. Connor is a really, really special guy.
Chapter 2, Barwin's biggest project, Smith Playground in South Philadelphia.
So this will really be an anchor in South Philadelphia and a magic place for kids to play coming into next year.
To make his goal a reality, Connor hosted a wildly successful concert here at Union Transfer with some of his favorite bands. Barwin's Make the World Better Foundation raises $300,000 for Smith Playground. The rebuilding features a new football field and 2 new baseball fields.
I grew up in this kind of environment, and it was so important for my upbringing and the way I turned out that I think, you know, you try to give that to as many kids as possible.
Speaking of kids, Connor and the Kids would be the title for Chapter 3.
Whoever's a defender, put your hands like this, and then you can give him a little juke, or you can swipe your hands by, right around him, all right?
Barwin hosted his first football camp this summer. That's in addition to a push-up contest with kids from the Police Athletic League, and a day with the NFL's Play 60 program, encouraging kids to stay active.
Philadelphia is my home, and I think that's why I'm so involved in the community here.
Like the man himself, Connor's final chapter is eclectic. From helping to rehab a playhouse in Fairmount.
When I got here 2 years ago, I was 27 years old. I said, it's time to kind of take a leadership role in my community.
To joining teammate Mark Sanchez and visiting Temple Hospital after May's deadly train derailment.
It was great to be there. I think we got to meet some of the victims and see the smiles on their faces.
Barwin even climbed heights that, for the sake of safety, maybe he shouldn't have, all to better his environment. It's a Philadelphia story being told by this Detroit native.
I think staying active in the community helps me mentally, helps me physically, keeps me out of trouble. But I also think as a football player, as a leader on this team, I think it's the right thing to do for the city that I live in, for the city that I'm here year-round. Connor
Barwin, the man that loves his city back. Sounds like the title of a pretty good book to me. Vi Sikahema, NBC 10.
That is called bar winning, and just this week, Connor helped cut the ribbon on revitalizing the Ralph Brooks Park in South Philly, and his concert from last year raised $140,000 towards that project. And the project refurbished the basketball courts, a kids' play area, and improvements to playground equipment. Nice job, Connor. Still to come.
He's back. He's hit. He's down again, and this time the sack by Fletcher Cox.
They are the front line in the Birds battle up front, but they've gone largely unnoticed until now. Our man Malcolm shines some much-deserved attention on the D-line next when Eagles preseason kickoff returns. Love the Eagles? Play the new instant game from the Pennsylvania Lottery. Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly.
Welcome back, everybody, to Eagles preseason kickoff. And one of the strengths of this Eagles team is the defensive line. In fact, last year, Chip Kelly said Fletcher Cox may have been the best player on the team. And this preseason, they look great again. But they don't get enough respect around the league. Well, our man, our player correspondent, Malcolm Jenkins, is bringing them some attention.
Today, I have with me the starting D-line, a.k.a. the Nobodies. I have Cedric Thornton.
The Eagles smell this out, and the Eagles pick it up as fourth.
Fletcher Cox.
He's down again, and this time the sack by Fletcher Cox.
And Benny Logan.
Back to the line of scrimmage, perhaps, but Benny Logan.
The Nobodies. Fletch, you tweeted something out with that, a picture of you guys with a nice little edit in the background called The Nobodies. Explain what that is.
Man, I think that started last year. I actually stole that from Benny. You know, last year, Dallas week before we played the Cowboys, I think, and they said, well, who do y'all call yourself? We said, so Benny came up and said, we the Nobodies. So he wanted to stick to that name, and that name, I think, which has been humbling us and keep us, poised.
You know what, one thing to me is last year we finished top 5 in run defense, and I don't think you guys get a lot of hype in the media. Why do you think that is, Benny?
Actually, I don't think we get a lot of hype because we don't really have any big name guys or anything.
So do y'all have any goals as a unit for this year?
We just want to be consistent and be effective every game and with our jobs and our duties, and everything correlates up front.
Well, I can tell you, they're not nobodies to me. Me being 20 yards away from the ball, I have the luxury of playing in front or behind these guys, and rarely do I get a ball carrier coming downhill where I got to make an open field tackle. That's a nightmare for a safety. So I like the name Nobodies, but you guys are somebodies to me. So in order for the fans to learn more about you guys, what are some things that you're passionate about outside of football? I'll start with you, Fletch.
I'm 100% country boy, man. Passionate about, I love my cars, big outdoors person, hunting, fishing, anything dealing outdoors, I love it.
I'm a country boy, so I love hunting, I love mud riding, I love horseback riding. I just like being out in the yard or just out in the woods doing any kind of, thing fun or got to do with nature.
Me too, I'm from the South, so I like being outside. I like four-wheeler riding, and I'm a family man. I got 3 children, so I just like being around my family, being around love, man. So we all from the South, we like to do country stuff, but other than that, just being around family.
See, for a city boy like myself, I like having these big country dudes in front of me. Let them do all the dirty work. I'll just clean it up in the back end. I appreciate you guys spending some time. Hopefully, y'all will get to know these guys a lot more this year. Pay attention, the Nobodies.
That is great stuff. Malcolm Jenkins thanks the D-line every day for setting the tone on defense. We're less than 13 hours away from game time. Eagles preseason kickoff rolls on.